Mystical greetings, stream junkies. Welcome to my sanctum of screams, my charnel house of the cerebrum, my mystery... room. Tonight, we're cracking the spine on a toothsome tale of fright from my personal collection. The pieces may feel as familiar as a lover's crannies. A hilltop mansion, a hideous murder, hidden motives. But this excursion into the overflowing grease trap in the recesses of the human heart features 4 secret ingredients. Those diabolical divas, the hell yeah babies. Our story begins, cradled in the heaving bosom of the Monongahela River, the estate of a local media magnate who has unwittingly filled one web with many spiders. Our host, the esteemed Mr. Kenny Moneypenny, owner and operator of this very network, who has thrown this most sinister of soirees in honor of rock and roll himself, and hired your beloved babies to serve the foie gras and four loko. It's the dead of winter, a dull time for parties, a time for cold things, be they canapes or corpses. This story is a favorite of a recent vintage, and it's called A Heart Lies Still on Squirrel Hill.
Well, here we are once again. It's the last Friday of the month, and you know what that means.
Yep, my girlfriend wirelessly unlocks my digital chastity belt.
Mine too.
May I do a non-joke answer?
Of course. Mr. Roth?
It's the night of the I Want My HYB charity Twitch stream, featuring the best of independent music and occasionally signed artists who forget they're not allowed to do this.
That's right, Dylan. And tonight, we are raising money for One Fair Wage, a nonprofit campaign that's fighting to end unjust sub-minimum wages in America. Your donations tonight will go towards helping tip workers, gig workers, and service workers who are struggling through this long pandemic.
Normally, this is the part where we do some sort of joke or story for the evening. But this time, we're playing it totally straight. No, just music videos.
Plus, also, we've been hired to play some music at Kenny Moneypenny's mansion to celebrate the new classic rock station he's launching, 109.9 The Hat.
I mean, the party does look pretty cool. There's a couple of babes, free booze, and he gave me a whole tray of Whores Divorce to myself.
Ooh.
Don't fill up on those before our set, please. Remember the paella incident?
I blame that on Iberian trickery, which reminds me, hey, Kenny.
Well, I figure Yins will serve little hot dogs about 8:15, and the entree is at 9.
Excuse me? Are we the fucking caterers?
Yeah, well, I figure you boys already have the matching jackets, and you do owe me a lot of money.
Oh, come on.
I'm afraid he's got us, boys.
Listen, fuck it. A gig is a gig. We're professional entertainers, and if what this party needs is a quartet of preternaturally charming rock and roll stars who distribute greasy bite-sized treats, then we're your boys. We got this.
We are trying to raise money for waiters and bartenders, after all. So, yeah, we're happy to do some service work, Kenny.
Not me. I will be spitting in the punch bowl.
Hang on, let me fill my cup first, and you're good.
All right, give me some space. I got to introduce the man of the hour. Hey, if I could just get Yin's attention for a second here. I just wanted to say a few words. I want to thank everyone for coming here today. Sorry that due to the ongoing pandemic, everyone's got to stay in separate rooms all night. But luckily, we got enough rooms for everyone, and my buddies, the Hell Yeah Babies, are going to be sliding snacks and drinks under your doors. I've invited you all here tonight to my scenic mansion in Squirrel Hill because tonight at midnight, we launch 109.9 The Hat, Pittsburgh's new #1 source for real rock and roll. And to do the honors of christening this ship, I want to introduce the man of the hour, because he rocks around the clock the spirit of rock and roll.
Hey now, hey, thanks, Kenny. You know, when I was born in 1955 to my proud parents, Big Mama Thornton and Little Richard, I never could have imagined that I'd still be around today in the form of a tall, very, very pale white man. Be that as it may, though, I'm proud to be back on the airwaves in the great city of Pittsburgh, home of such legendary bands as Anti-Flag, the Iron City House Rockers, and I guess I ain't visited here very often, but that's all about to change, and I'm sure glad to be surrounded by sealed off rooms containing some of my dearest and oldest friends and acquaintances. It's nights like this when I feel most lucky to be alive and most certain that nothing will ever happen to me or any of my internal organs. So everyone, please raise your glasses and toast. Long live rock and roll, baby. And hey, how about some music videos? Andy, why don't you hit that button there, fella?
Speaking of Kenny Moneypenny, I feel like we're kind of killing this so far, right?
Yeah, the party. Yeah, everyone so far has been really nice to us.
And we can skim some pigs and blankets right off the top.
And actually, Sam, I think your spit made the punch even better. That being said, we urgently need to check your blood sugar.
Hey, let me get you into tensions again real quick. I was gonna use a commode and God, I can't even. Rock and roll is dead.
What? Oh my God, what happened?
It looks like he's been bludgeoned in the head with a candlestick.
Oh, Lord.
And bludgeoned in the kidneys with a wrench.
What?
And bludgeoned in the chest with a bullet from a revolver.
Wait, hang on.
And bludgeoned very, very precisely between the ribs with a knife.
Okay, stop.
And he had a freaking pipe in his pants.
Okay, don't be gross.
No, I'm serious. He got his grapes busted with a lead pipe.
I think there's one more.
That's right. The rope around his neck.
Now, hang on. That may not have killed him. That could just be an erotic thing. And so I'm still counting that as 5 injuries. And I drew a little picture of what he looks like. Check it out.
Ugh.
Oh, I hate it.
No.
Get out of the way.
Yeesh.
No.
Babies, there's one thing we can agree on.
He was
murdered.
Third. There's actually 2 things we can agree on.
We're not calling the cops. Absolutely not.
Indeed. We've been presented with an intricate tapestry of violence with no idea how many hands worked the loom. It is of utmost importance that nobody leave their rooms.
Now, I see this here mystery as more of a sweater wrapped around the body of the brute responsible for this crime. And it falls to us to seize upon one of the threads and hold it even as they attempt to walk away, revealing the Superman skivvies beneath and leaving them lying on the floor.
Everybody seems to be pretending to be detectives, so I guess the hell yeah babies are on the case, Kenny.
Actually, I was just going to ask for a hand rolling up in an old carpet.
Listen, we can always get rid of the body later if we get bored. But right now, we are in a mansion with 6 suspects of murder most foul.
6, but there are only 5 other guests.
I'm afraid that even as our handsome host, you're not above suspicion, Mr. Moneypenny.
That's right. We can establish the time of death on this here broken Coors Light Beowulf watch that the deceased was wearing. Can you account for your whereabouts this evening, Mr. Moneypenny?
Oh, this is crazy. I love rock and roll like a brother or uncle who's too close to your age because your grandma played it fast and loose. I'd never heard him. Plus, I was at Sheets getting a winter warmer.
Winter warmer? What is that? Like a coffee drink with cinnamon or something?
Nah, it's a hoagie roll with the bread scooped out and they fill it with provolone beef stew and egg noodles. Check out the time on the receipt.
That's almost airtight. Julian, tell the local Sheets that a New York rock band needs their security camera footage so we can exonerate Mr. Moneypenny.
I'm on it.
Well, that only leaves...
He's got this.
5 more suspects.
Too right, my dyscalculic colleague. I can feel it in the air. The game's afoot.
A game, you say?
A foot, you say? Hey, wait, did you always have a Sherlock Holmes hat?
Oh, my wife packed it because she was afraid my ears would get cold.
Aw,
that's pretty nice.
That's so sweet.
Now, we must interrogate each guest, establish whether or not they had a motive, means, and opportunity to send our friend to the great gig in the sky.
All right, so I got the security camera footage from Sheets. It turns out they will give that to anybody, really.
It sounds like you've got bad news too.
Well, it's been corrupted.
It's the gotta have it guy, isn't it?
Ugh.
You mean the glitchy man who's always talking about Rubik's Cubes and Macamee and VHS versus Beta Wars?
The very same fiend.
The way he talks makes my mustache curl, but he does have a line on good music. Babies, you get detecting. Andy, hit the button.
Yes, I do.
They call me the gotta have it guy because I have got to have it. What's that up in the tree? The plumage of a premier jay? Here's Jay Ackley and Eliza Waldman with the world premiere of Ghosts. And there you have it. This guy's gotta go. Until next time, if I hurry, I might be able to finally keep up with the Kardashians.
Well, unfortunately, all of the guests were off camera during that first block of videos. So the killer could really be any of them. We are going to have to investigate and interview all 5 guests.
Well, I have taken the liberty of arranging us to perform a little interview with Maybelline Enroll, the ex-wife of the deceased. Andy, would you show her into our digital drawing room?
All right, so hear me out. The gotta have it guy did it. Case closed. Let's pack up the leftovers and go home.
Well, it's never actually been canonically established that gotta have it guy can affect the physical world outside of overwriting media. Unless, of course, we count the manifestations inspired by the gotta have it guy that were established in episode 6.
Cram it, Mandark. Also, Julian, I ate all the leftovers.
Dude, come on. All right, you're a suspect.
What? No. I have my suspect shield up. Now you're a suspect.
Circle, dot. Actually, I just got the suspect vaccine, so all the suspect sauce is aerosolized, and you're all breathing it in right now.
That's impossible. We said no suspect backsies.
Boys, are you going to take my statement or argue with each other about who's sus all day?
Well, me and Mike aren't really doing detective stuff, so.
But I am Dylan James Roth, madam, bassist and master of the art of deduction.
Maybelline Enroll. Charmed, I'm sure. You're that precocious boy detective that everyone's been buzzing about.
Well, I'm a 30-year-old man.
Your father must be so proud. Mr.
Samuel S. Paxton, a pleasure. Also, I'm not his father.
Ms. Enroll, can you describe your relationship with the deceased?
Frankly, detective, I struggle to describe something that no longer exists. You might as well have me describe a dinosaur cloaca or a Fuddruckers.
Of course, you've been divorced from rock and roll for nearly a decade, but before that?
In ancient history, I was a pretty young fool, backstage at the Jones Beach Amphitheater in 1988, pining after Whitesnake and Great White. David Coverdale was in my sights, and I fancied myself the next Tawny Katane. And that's when I saw him, tapping his cowboy boot during an encore of Here I Go Again. Rock and roll. His hair seemed to explode from his scalp in a bleached Vesuvius, and I was immediately snared in his aquanet.
So it was love at first bite.
Once Bitten Twice is actually a great White song, but yes, it was a whirlwind romance, ever dodging my father's eye. I knew he wouldn't approve of this tryst, so we eloped under the watchful eye of a hefty Las Vegas Elvis and took our love on tour across the country, of movable feasts of each other's bodies and fluids.
You gotta tone this down by like 10%.
I'd remember every sexual encounter, the glitter of downtown Lincoln, Nebraska, Greensboro, North Carolina on Route 20, Lawrenceville, New Jersey with Joe's Crab Shack just around the parking lot. Every rendezvous was a geyser of...
You fucked! We got it. Writing that down.
Now, I'm no stranger to pleasure myself.
Disgusting.
But at what point did that rather deep well run dry?
Never die, darling. But by 2003, the pain of the days far outweighed the pleasure of the nights.
The next time someone says pleasure, they need to tip us a quarter.
It was in his new metal days that split us. As you're all well aware, by that point in time, my ex-husband's personal proclivities had expanded to include wraparound sunglasses and gin code jeans. I had been able to weather the flannel years of grunge and the Britpop years watching incomprehensible red-nosed brothers beat each other senseless on stage. But this was a new level of pain for me. Tell me, detective, have you ever heard a guitar tuned in drop C sharp?
Ugh, God, it's awful.
I felt the same way. So I gathered my things in the night and left my wedding ring hooked into his lip piercing. We haven't spoken since.
A clean break.
That's right.
Then why show up tonight?
Yeah, were you like trying to get plowed one more time?
Michael, what my colleague means to ask is, did you come to the party tonight hoping to get, plowed?
Please, I've maintained a stable of himbos that would make the cast Magic Mike look like the cast of The Big Bang Theory. I don't need whatever juice was left in my ex-husband. I'm here due to a quirk of Kenny Moneypenny's address book. He never updated his Palm Pilot after our divorce, and his assistant invited me by accident.
Wait, Palm Pilot?
He says that touch-sensitive OLED screens are none of his business. Now, do you need anything else to prove I didn't come here tonight to kill rock and roll?
Even if we take you at your word that you don't have a motive and we can't see a gun, knife, wrench, pipe, rope, or dagger in your room, we do still need an alibi.
Simple. I was waiting in line for the first floor bathroom, 6 feet behind Shrub Rwenge. Some poor soul spent the entire block of music videos in the toilet. I hope her nose is okay.
Cocaine. That was a cocaine joke. She's making a reference to cocaine.
Case closed.
Very good, Michael. We'll make a gumshoe of you yet. Miss Enroll, you can go. Thank you very kindly for your cooperation.
Of course, detective. Bonsoir.
So, she was full of shit, right?
Oh, like the president's diaper.
Now, Donald J. Trump isn't the president anymore, Julian. I think we've retired the diaper jokes.
All right, look me in the eye. Look me in the eye and tell me that Joe Biden doesn't have a big, full diaper.
Easy, Julian. I agree that her story had some holes, but there's only so much we can do from this position. This next guy, I got my eye on him.
Trope? The guitar virtuoso? He seems harmless.
Oh, yeah, it may just seem like he loves tapping, slapping, and pinch harmonics, but all of those guys are A1 nut boys. You know that Steve Vai signature guitar with the hole through it? That's for your dick. And don't even get me started on Joe Satriani. Surfing with the alien? That guy's on weed or something.
Even busy hands can be the devil's playthings. Andy, bring up Trope's video feed.
Hey guys, sorry it's been a while since my last video. Now before we get started here, make sure you've liked and subscribed to Never Break the Chain, your premier pedals and more source for ultimate tone. Now you're gonna wanna make sure you have notifications turned on so you never miss a video. And of course, join us on the MBTC Discord to catch up with other gearheads about the best way to make your Squire sound like a knight.
Does he know we're here?
He seems to be recording some sort of YouTubed review. Let's see if we can, what insight we can glean from it.
All right, and before we get started here, make sure you use our discount code CHAIN, that's CHAIN, when you're shopping on fingermass.ers for the best in progressive music nootropics. If you're having trouble mastering your sweet picking, there's nothing like a blend of MCT oil, minoxidil, and modafinil to get your fingers flying faster than a French fry during a fight at Ronald McDonald's funeral, fam. So go ahead and use code CHAIN for 25% off at fingermass.ers, and do not go to fingerblasters.com. Never Break the Chain cannot be held responsible for the contents of that website. And if you're worried about missing a minute of the most in-depth stringed instrument reviews, then you're also going to need to subscribe to our Twitch channel, where every single night from 6 p.m. to midnight, I do some improvisational jams and time signatures that are selected by rolling a bunch of Dungeons and Dragon dice. So go ahead and leave your name and phone number and social in the comments so that I can shoot you a text while that's going on. And listen, guys, if you're not subscribed to our weekly newsletter, offering you great deals on pedals, plectrums, and all the other pro paraphernalia a guitarist needs between their Chuck Taylors and their Henley shirt that you wear a cardigan over so people can't see that you're sweating really bad, you gotta go to your email and send me an email, and I'll put your name into the spreadsheet and add to the list of people that get the newsletter.
I don't understand. Is he going to review anything?
YouTube is a delicate dance, Dylan.
Yeah, this is where the real money is made.
Now, if you're sick of sounding like you're playing stock pickups through a Line 6 amplifier on an overseas Strat copy that hasn't had a Plex set up, the Never Break the Chain Patreon is open, and your $20 a month gets you the guitar tone secrets of the greats that are going to turn your tone from Scubstein to Malmsteen.
What in God's name is he blathering on about?
Oh, simple, Sam. Yngwie Malmsteen is a famous shredder guitarist. Scub is one of the lower level IKEA lines, and Malm is better. So what he's saying is he's going to make you a better guitarist. However, the rest of what he said is absolute nonsense to me.
I'm done with this. Trope.
What? Oh, it's the caterers. I'm good on tendies, guys. Thank you, though.
I'm afraid we're not here for a poultry drop. We're investigating the murder of rock and roll.
Oh! Sorry, I didn't see you there. I know you're a boy detective and all, but I kind of expected you to be taller. How can I help you, kid?
We have some questions about your whereabouts at the time of the murder. And by the way, I have a full beard. No fooling.
You know, I heard that some little boy was investigating the murder. Sorry, I assume the beard was due to, Monsanto.
I do believe I'm going to cut to the chase here, Trope. What was it exactly that put you on the guest list for a rock radio station launch?
It's kind of funny. Strictly speaking, I'm not a rock and roll guy. I'm more of a prog/gent guy with a splash of metalcore pushing the boundaries of musical expression beyond where they've ever
Cram
been.
it up your F-hole, Poindexter. Why are you here?
I was originally supposed to be the musical entertainment. I believe Mr. Moneypenny found me through a Craigslist ad where I said I was the one-man Steely Dan. I gained that nickname when I realized I could use all 12 strings on my Chapman stick, along with a quadraphonic output, including MIDI modules to play Reeling in the Years, completely solo.
How would you do that?
Sounds awful.
When Mr. Moneypenny heard, he said the same thing and almost kicked me out. But then he was like, I can't send a man rambling while his stomach's a rumbling, and invited me to stick around for dinner. I had no idea that rock and roll himself would be here.
Very curious indeed. How fortuitous for you. Can you account for your time away from the camera during the period when rock and roll was murdered?
Yeah, sure. I was in the bathroom. I have a chicken tender allergy and really bad self-control.
Oh, yeah? Then why does old lady in roll say she was 2 yards away from you outside the shit pot for the duration?
May said that? I mean, she's right. Did I say in the bathroom? I meant at the bathroom. There I was, at the bathroom the whole time. I still need to crap now. Oh, my guts are so full.
You're not full of shit, but your story is.
Just like the president's diaper.
Now, I said that's enough.
Trope hadn't heard it yet.
Honestly, I think Joe Biden just has a big ass. Anyway, I am kind of busy here. If you guys don't have any more questions.
Don't leave town, Mr.
Rowenge. And by the way, I don't remember seeing you on camera when I got back from whatever I did around the bathroom.
Cut the feed. Cut his feed. Cut his feed, Andy. What is he hiding? Listen, I say we mask up, we bust his door down, and we play the C major scale in 4/4 time until he talks. Let's turn his dream theater into a nightmare theater.
Now, I'm no fan of this prog rock.
Okay, but what about Pog rock?
Yeah, okay, that's pretty good.
Interesting.
Hogs aside, I don't believe that an affinity for velocitus picking alone should condemn a man for murder most foul.
Indeed, when you eliminate the unlistenable, whatever remains, however pedestrian, must be the truth.
He did raise an important point. Where were you, Michael? Write a funny middle name in here before the show, Pfeiffer.
I'll have you know, I don't remember.
Case closed.
Stop saying that. Michael, do you mean you have no way of accounting for your whereabouts during the murder?
Oh, listen, I can account for it. I've been doing this thing that I call a monster fucker. It's tequila and sugar-free Monster Energy.
I failed to see how that should impair you. You drink that all the time.
Okay, well, I wasn't exactly drinking it with my mouth in the traditional sense.
Oh, I'm going to assume you're innocent until proven guilty because that's the law. And I'm going to look into a good gastroenterologist for the band. We are a fucking mess. Andy, please hit the button.
Please.
Oh, yeah. They call me the gotta have it guy because I have got to have it. Order up. Table 21 gets the spirit plate. They're serving you the world premiere of Daily News Headline. And there you have it. This guy's gotta go. Health insurance, rip-offs lying, FDA, big bankers buying. Sorry, These were my notes from 1998.
What are we up to here, fellas?
We are at
1221.
1221.
We're at $1,221 going to One Fair Wage to help support tipped workers both in their fight for a fair wage and providing emergency relief. And if you can make it to $1,500 tonight, then you will get to see a blonde Sam before the next show,
Wait.
right? That's kind of the way it has to go.
He's blonde
We already
now.
got the blonde Sam.
So we're going to
Yeah.
blonde 2.
Oh, right.
Which
Blonde
is pink.
2, pink.
Sam
Yeah,
is going
sorry.
to dye his hair.
That's right.
Sam, tell us a little about it.
I'm going to go Super Saiyan Rose on him.
In a bit of good news, I have established an alibi for Sweet Michael. The stone construction of this ancient manse has been playing hell with 5G wireless signal, which has temporarily cured our Morgellians, but prevented us from receiving textual messages.
Yeah, but when I went up on the roof to check if there was a crow, because, you know, maybe the crow did it, my phone started getting lots of messages. Most of them were from girls. But the band group chat also had a timestamp video from Michael that lasted the duration of the possible time of death.
It is easily the softest penis I've ever seen.
The point was not the nudity. Did you guys even listen to the video?
Yes, we all agree with you. They should have made Face Off into an anthology series with different actors and a new installment every year. It was very compelling, though you were slurring quite a bit.
Most importantly, though, it means you didn't kill a guy during that specific 15 minutes anyway.
With that unpleasantness behind us, we must proceed with interrogating the next guest.
A question still gives me pause. Where was rock and roll killed? We know the body was found, but have no idea where the deed was done. A crucial piece. We must convene with a figure to whom the four of us are well acquainted. Our former corporate overlord, BRVTY.
Finally, the chance to yell at a billionaire over the internet while standing 6 feet away and separated by a hollow wooden door. It's like it jumped out of my dream journal.
You don't keep a dream journal.
I do too. It is mostly scratch drawings of my own flaccid dick. It's very funny. Every time I open the book, there it is.
Well, if it isn't 3 of the hell yeah babies and a boy detective I've never met. I know this is just a video chat, but I'd still appreciate it if you took your shoes off and left them by the door.
It's me! It's Dylan, an adult who you once paid $1,500 in exchange for workshopping your pitch for the Foot Ferrari, which was just a pedicab with an Italian driver.
That's a good idea.
Oh, of course.
Italian.
I ended up selling that idea to Elon Musk for a cool 20 mil. You didn't think those Teslas were really electric, do you?
Now, Mixed Brevity, we're here to ascertain your guilt or innocence in the matter of this brutal slaying of rock and roll, which happened just outside this very door.
Boys, I can account for my whereabouts for the entirety of the time in question. I was giving a motivational / promotional speech to a group of young entrepreneurs over Twitch. I'm quite proud of it. Actually, I wrote it in a structure that combines the key principles of technology, entertainment, and design.
Ah, like a TED Talk.
I call it a TED Talk, named for the foul-mouthed masturbating bear in Seth MacFarlane's directorial debut, TED. Millennials, Zoomers, and Coomers all show high engagement with him.
All right, then. If you were streaming on Twitch, then we'll confirm your story by simply going to your channel and watching the replay.
Unfortunately, that won't be possible. You see, there was some unlicensed music playing in the background, and I'm afraid my stream was flagged and removed from my channel's archive.
What? Lame.
How did that happen? You've got like a Scrooge McDuck vault. Why don't you just license the music?
Oh, I'd been happy to, but you see, no one actually knows how to inform Twitch that you have permission to play certain music on your stream. It's presumably possible, but there are no instructions and no warning when your video is flagged. Even someone with all my influence has to cross their fingers and hope for the best.
Now, I must say it's rather convenient that your alibi has been struck from the record due to copyright infringement.
Well, it's a party. I can't be blamed if the music was too loud.
If only this was one of those silent parties with no music and no people, like the one Rudy Giuliani's always throwing.
What exactly brought you to this party in the first place? As I recall, you and Mr. Moneypenny weren't on the best of terms after he was briefly forced to sell you his television station.
Oh, we buried the hatchet months ago. Yes, we had our differences, but at the end of the day, we're both very rich. And that goes a long way. I asked him for an invite to the party so that I could pitch rock and roll on a new music platform I've invented.
Watch, this is going to be called like iTunes with an I, and they're not even going to acknowledge it.
It's called Drizzle Beat.
Well, that's not so bad. Wait, how's that spelled?
DRZLBIT with an umlaut over the I.
Oh, brother.
Drizzlebeat is a subscription live streaming platform that lets users broadcast any and all copyrighted material, and artists who choose to opt in can redeem play credits from use of their material to pay for coding classes.
And what, pray tell, was Rock and Roll's opinion of this venture of yours?
Sadly, I'll never know. He was killed before I could tell him about it. I'm sure he'd have loved it.
Ugh, yeah, it's a real shame.
Now, if you'll excuse me, it's 9:36, which is the time I always do my daily floor depressions.
And those are...
You call them push-ups.
Oh my God, then just call them that. Just call them that.
Best of luck solving this mystery, babies. And if you should ever be interested in selling your souls or master recording tapes, you know where to find me. Just say BRVTY near any working cell phone and I'll get right back to you.
Well, I'm afraid that answered very few questions and birthed several new ones. Perhaps we'll have better luck with our next suspect. Come, Samuel, follow me to the next location.
Don't do that. Don't come, Samuel, at me. I'm not your Watson, okay? I'm a brilliant, independent, and handsome Southern detective with a whimsical demeanor and a lifetime of homespun wisdom. We can both do our own things, man.
Shit, sorry, man. I just got overexcited.
Classic you. Anyway, our next suspect is the mononymic minx, Persefaneigh.
Ah, named for the abducted wife of Hades, an auspicious name for one who may have ushered dear rock and roll to the underworld.
Huh, I didn't know we were going to meet anybody from video games tonight.
Pardon me, Ms. Persefaneigh.
Do we have to do this over video? Can't we text like normal people?
Would that be very entertaining for the folks at home, huh?
Fourth wall gags are incredibly 2013.
Shit, she's young. I don't know how to talk to young people.
Ironic, given that you're a boy detective.
Shut up, man.
I got this.
No.
All right, well, fine.
Sam, you take it. Everybody thinks you're 21.
Miss Persefaneigh, now why don't we just think of this as a real long TikTok duet? Perhaps with some viral Korean pop hit in the background?
Did we learn nothing from the licensing conversation?
What do you want to know?
What brings you to this party of, shall we say, more mature adults celebrating a musical genre that's long past its prime years?
Critics and audiences agree that my contemporary wordplay and machine gun delivery belie a precocious world weariness that comes from an upbringing split between Jackson Hole and Monaco. After a viral turn singing a Depeche Mode tinged rendition of Christopher Cross's Ride Like the Wind turned heads. The heads were kept in that position by a rising star who has one foot planted in the rock history books and the other in the history books of the future.
Did you have that prepared?
So you'd say you're an aficionado of rock and roll?
Of course. I listen to the Guitar Geezers playlist on Spotify every morning while I'm finding deep fried versions of SpongeBob memes on Google too.
See, I didn't even know there was a Google too.
So you came just to meet our esteemed guest of honor?
Just a coincidence. I'm Spotify's new voice of the week and titles, please God, buy a subscription artist of the month. So Mr. Moneypenny called my manager and invited me so that the people wouldn't think his radio station was only for dads who are able to avoid DUIs through a combination of white privilege and dead-eye pleading. When I heard rock and roll was here, I was just excited to tell him about my band, Magic Uncle.
Magic Uncle.
I hate this. I hate this so much.
How would you describe your sound?
Distortion-drenched reverb tides create an ever-changing topographic soundscape that my voice puddle jumps in gritty bouts of angst that process the trauma of living in 3-minute increments with a pop sensibility that seems poised to do supernova at any minute.
You could just pick two bands you sound like and describe your band as a combination of those two bands.
I got you. Imagine Lana Del Rey fronting Tame Impala.
Oh, okay. That actually makes a lot more sense.
And tomorrow night, we're going to be performing on that late night show with Jimmy.
Which one? Fallon? Kimmel? Corden? Since Jimmy is a nickname for James?
I don't know. He's white. He laughs too much at his own jokes.
No need to solve this mystery. How long has the band been together, Persefaneigh?
Tomorrow's our 2-week anniversary.
Hey, do you mind if I huddle with the boys for a second?
Oh, sure. I've received 1,800 DMs inviting me to Serbia because I accidentally included my bare feet in an Instagram story. So I'll catch up on that.
Guys, we're on a real tightrope here, fellas.
Yeah, her whole career stinks like the president's diaper. Pee only. And he had asparagus at a state dinner.
Agreed. However, insinuating that she hasn't earned her place in the music industry will only make us look like bitter, out-of-touch bros to her and her audience. Quite the conundrum.
I propose that we hang a lampshade on this doo-doo-colored bulb by specifying out loud that nepotism cases represent a frustrating amount of new rock artists across the board, as I just have.
Brilliant work, Sam. Persefaneigh, apologies, we are back.
Oh, no worries. I had time to design a new sweatshirt for my Street Slayer line. It says gayer in the Slayer font.
Damn. I think I'd actually wear that. I'm going to get that after the show.
Now, setting aside your upsettingly fast rise up the charts and the fact that a 2-week anniversary is not a real thing at all, where were you when rock and roll was murdered?
Oh, I was in the bathroom taking medication for my avian bone syndrome.
Oh, like that character from 30 Rock.
From what?
So were you still in there the whole night?
Yeah, I was in there when the gunshot went off. Really startled me.
Did you notice anything else from the time of the murder, or encounter any guests on your way to or from the fateful commode?
No, nobody. Oh, though I did hear a voice say something right after the gun was fired. I guess it was rock and roll's last word.
What was it?
He shouted Julian.
What?
What?
Uh-oh.
All right, it sounds like we got some shit to sort out. We can cut to a music video, please. Andy, hit the button.
They call me the
Gotta have it, guy.
because I have got to have it. Sorry for sliding in. I just had to send you the latest track from Rare DMs. One listen to them, and you're sure not to be their only fan. You just gotta hear. Send nudes. Well, there you have it. This guy's gotta go. Ladies and gentlemen, the dream we all dream of. Godzilla versus Kong in the World Series of Love. Slamming!
And yeah, so that's who has donated so far. What does that bring our total up to, fellows?
We're at 1,569 cents.
Okay, so
Thank you everyone for generous donations. 1-4 wage is going to be making a difference for some people who could really use some help, and then also a difference for all of us. You get to see Sam with pink hair.
It's gonna rock.
Well, I'm afraid that we can go as long as we can. Julian, we have to discuss Persephane's testimony.
Yeah, how did Magic Uncle get on top of the chart without releasing any music?
That's not what we're talking about, and you know it.
Your clever attempt to deflect us from the matter at hand is suspicious, to say the least.
Well, I didn't do it. Why would I kill rock and roll? Rock and roll is easily one of my 6 favorite musical genres, tied with electronica, house, hip-hop, 70s funk, and anime theme songs.
Persephone said she heard the victim cry Julian after the gunshot.
And that's another thing. Everyone knows I'm a sword guy, not a gun guy, or a dagger guy, or a pipe guy.
Well, Julian, everyone's a pipe guy at least a little bit. It's a spectrum.
There is another suspect we must consider. Another Julian on our calendar, so to speak.
Ugh.
Quite true, my good man. We have another guest by that name. Let us interrogate Julian Casablancas.
I must say it is truly a rare honor to meet the brilliant mind behind such songs as Reptilia and Ode to the Mets.
Yeah, you might be trying to frame me for murder, but This Is It does fucking slap.
Also, can you introduce me to the ass glove lady?
Thank
Tell
you.
her I said hi.
don't know if I can.
All right, everyone calm down. This is an interrogation, and also the Strokes are overrated.
Boo!
Shut up.
Mr.
Shut the
Casablancas,
fuck up.
how is it that you came to be at the party this evening? I assume you are an invited guest of Mr. Rock and Roll himself.
Actually, I didn't even know there was a party tonight at all. I was asleep till about an hour ago.
Oh yeah? Then what are you even doing here?
I live here, or at least I've been staying here for the past couple of months.
What?
Elaborate if you would.
Back in the day, I had a primo spot in the East Village, but then a bunch of yuppies moved in and the rent went up, so I had to move to the Lower East Side. Then the Lower East Side got bought up and I was priced out again, so I had to move to Williamsburg, but the loft got turned into a sneaker showroom. So I got a guest spot in Bushwick, but the Boar's Head warehouse that I was living in said I was taking too many baloney samples. So I had to move out to the Hamptons because the city was too played out and fake. And the Hamptons sucked, so I moved to Rio de Janeiro. But at the same thing happened there, and then in Antarctica, and Winnipeg, and Cleveland. So that drove me here to Pittsburgh.
If you've been residing here in sweet, sweaty Pittsburgh, then why not at your own abode rather than that of the good Mr. Moneypenny?
Well, Kenny's an old prep school friend, and he wasn't using this place, so he let me crash here for a while.
For months?
Yeah, that's actually a thing rich people do a lot. They own a bunch of different homes and let other rich people stay in the same homes when they're not using them. I've crashed in the mansions or luxury apartments of Cara Delevingne, BRVTY, the Krampus, and Rupert Murdoch. And I've never really met any of them. So when I decided to stay in Pittsburgh, I called up Kenny, who's an old friend of mine from the 3 expensive and exclusive boarding schools I went to as a kid.
Ah, yes, you were a child of some means, as I recall.
Uh-huh. My mom was a supermodel, and my dad kind of invented the idea of a supermodel. So I went to a fancy French elementary school in New York where I met the bassist for the Strokes, and then a fancy secondary school in Switzerland where I met the guitarist for the Strokes, and then back to New York for a fancy prep school where I met the other 2 guys from the Strokes. All of this is true and is not part of the bit. You can look it up.
Well, he also campaigned for Bernie, so he kind of gets a pass.
For now.
So you were enjoying the sweet sleep of the fabulously wealthy here at the Moneypenny Mansion when the murder occurred?
Not exactly. So like I said, I was asleep. And I always sleep with this revolver under my pillow that I got as a gift from Brian Eno. He loved to fire guns into the ceiling after finishing a 20-minute ambient banger called like Cerulean Kite, which is why they always used to call him Yosemite Brian Eno.
And this is part of the bit, right?
So I was having a really upsetting dream, and then the door swung open and this dude was just whining and flailing at me. My eyes hadn't really adjusted yet, and I was afraid it was Ryan Adams coming to try and play me one of his new songs, and that part of my life is over. So I shot him with my Eno gun, and then he fell down the stairs.
Aha! So that's why he yelled Julian after the gunshot.
Actually, that was me, but it was more like a Julian, because I felt kind of embarrassed about shooting a guy who turned out not to be Ryan Adams after all. And then I went back to sleep.
So you did kill rock and roll, and after receiving a disproportionate amount of credit for saving it in the 2000s.
Enough!
I'm telling you, he was already real messed up when he wandered in here. Someone else must have also thought he was Ryan Adams and tried to waste him. Plus, when I woke up the second time and talked to you guys, my revolver was missing. Someone must have come in quietly and stolen it.
Oh, great. So now we've got another killer on the loose.
Killer, or perhaps the killers.
None of our friends do a good Brandon Flowers impression, so no.
Gentlemen, I believe I've had a revelation. We must gather the guests before the answers slip through our fingers.
How long do we have to do that?
How long is the next block of videos?
We got...
That long.
19...
That amount of time, perfect.
With that, we approach the end of the ride, having lost our glasses on the second loop-de-loop and preparing to toss our cookies the moment we see a trash can. We have scoured the house for the missing strokes on this Matisse of murder.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I think we'd all like to find the truth and suss out the snake among us, because after all,
we're not
calling the
cops.
No. The obvious choice for the murder was Maybelline Enroll, a jilted lover unexpectedly confronted with the face of her most famous sexual partner.
Ben Affleck was here. I thought I smelled donkeys.
Jesus Christ, no! Anyway, I was enamored with the locations you listed for your early affair and cross-checked them with a hunch. Did you get a deal on those motels, Ms. Enroll? Or should I say, Ms. Red Rufiano?
Oh my God.
Wait, huh?
That's right, maiden name Maybelline Red Rufiano, heiress to the Red Roof in millions.
It's true. I come from money. 2-star hotel money.
Wait, hang on. I'm getting the sense we're going to be doing a lot of gasping here. So everybody hold in all of your gasps until the end, and then we'll all just do one big gasp together, okay? Okay. The point that we're getting to is that nobody ruins hotel rooms quite like rock stars. The enduring bad boy image was messing with your money, and you saw an opportunity to end the drain on your inheritance once and for all.
That's preposterous. Red Roof Inn is the go-to economy lodging choice, providing guests with an affordable stay at a clean, modern, comfortable room. No guitar jockey could threaten that.
Sure. Speaking of guitar jockeys, I suppose there is also the option of Trope Wenge, whose YouTube videos proved to be quite interesting.
Not really.
No, not really. But a curious trend emerged, a preoccupation with the future of guitar music. And something even more curious in the upstairs lavatory, a Michelangelo Battio signature brand condom. Mimicking the design of Battio's own double neck guitar, the condom itself is a nearly useless item except to those in possession of a bifurcated penis, which is a curious proposition.
Which I don't have. So what's the big deal?
You do have a motive, Mr. Owenge. We can assume it has been some time since the last time you made love due to the content of your videos, and I submit that somehow killing rock and roll would get you laid.
Plus, it would help me move music past archaic ideas like melody and enjoyment.
Damn, dude, you're really bad at this.
Sorry, I get excited. It's kind of fun.
I know. Before you incriminate yourself anymore, we can always check in with everyone's friend, BRVTY.
I passed the bar via WebEx during the break, so I will be acting as my own attorney.
And you'll need all the help you can get from yourself. Your pitch for Drizzlebeat is a nakedly exploitative and will pull the rug out even further from musical artists.
By literally helping them learn to code? Sure. I'm so bad just because I've used streaming to expand their potential audience at the cost of completely devaluing their work.
Stow it. Julian's good at video games, which means that he's good at computers. And he was able to find that you weren't streaming at all. So bye-bye to your alibi. The perfect time to remove rock and roll from the equation after he shot down your idea.
Hey, is this gonna run long? I have a thing after this.
You most certainly don't have a thing. Bars in Pennsylvania close stupid early, and there's a pandemic on?
Oh yeah, it really is an unprecedented time, but...
You certainly weren't in a hurry in the bathroom, were you? That bone disease sounds like a nasty customer, a real Karen of a crutch. It's the kind of roll of the genetic dice that supports our theory that you're hiding something in your past. Tell me, what's your favorite food?
Soup. All kinds.
Favorite TV show?
Seinfeld.
And your first horse's name was?
Sophia Coppola's Marie Antoinette.
Aha! While we may not have the full story on your little secret, you provided a crucial breadcrumb trail, which we will follow to its end, and which rock and roll may have followed to his end.
You've come up with cute little motives for everyone, but you haven't established means and opportunity. Don't you only have like that old guy's gun?
Hey, come on, Brian Eno isn't that old.
I was talking about you.
What? How old do you think I am?
I don't know, like 28.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Okay, now do me. Now do me. How old do you think I am?
Don't actually do that. His heart can't take it.
He's right, though. We need to find the rest of the murder weapons for the complete picture.
Hey, to be honest, I thought this was going to wrap up by now, and the carpet guy's on his way with one that could fit the body, so how's about I keep an eye on everyone in this room and Yins go scrounge the evidence before the grand finale. You don't find anything, we call it a day, we get shellacked.
We shall be the nylon pantyhose over the vacuum cleaner hose of justice, capturing the lost earring of truth.
Oh yeah, and everyone, you can do all your gasps now.
Andy, hit the button.
They call me the gotta have it guy because I have got to have it. I pledge allegiance to the nation of language and to the bop for which we stand. Their video for The Wall and I. So there you have it. This guy's gotta go. Until next time, if you're planning a date at GameStop, it's a sure way to get your short squeezed.
These are no normal jeans, she said, with a twinkle in her eye. From the moment you put them on, you are joined in the sisterhood of the traveling pants. Welcome back, weary traveler. I hope our dance macabre hasn't tuckered you out. You are now in possession of every piece of a wicked jigsaw puzzle. Have you assembled enough to find the culprit in the grisly murder of rock and roll? The HYBs have been exonerated, but that still leaves 5 suspects. Was it the ex-wife with the secret inheritance? The post-rock musician too eager to kill the past? The tech executive with the heart of lead? The rising star who also has a secret inheritance? Or was it simply Julian Casablancas performing a fatal vibe check in a comical misunderstanding? Prepare yourselves. All will be revealed, and the guilty will shrivel under the light of truth in the sensual and sensational finale of A Heart Lies Still on Squirrel Hill.
For real, this is it. We're almost done.
And not a moment too soon. I have been Googling Southern aphorisms for the entire break because I am running on fumes like a hobo in search of a pie cooling on the windowsill. Oh, hey, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, man, it's a little wordy, but it does the job. Anyway, we have assembled a final timeline of events. Okay, so we found all of the murder weapons, and everyone can take our word for that. And we're not going to show them on screen because we're busy.
Wonderful save. Okay, is everyone fine if we do this fast? The impact indicated a candlestick, but we could not locate the murder weapon because it had been placed back inside its velvet bag in rock and roll's own suitcase. Another curious aspect, it exactly matches the distinctive profile of one Maybelline in roll.
Andy, throw up the comparison.
It's true.
Look
He
at that.
had it made for our first anniversary to say he would always hold the candle to me. He was very stupid.
He held on to the keepsake as a matter of fact until this very chance meeting. He invited you for a taste of marital leftovers, but you needed him dead. So you struck him, replaced the stick, and met up with Trope by chance while trying to get the blood off your furs.
And your name rung a bell, Trope, or should I say, it struck a chord. You're the disgraced inventor of the Rowenge, a 94-string bass guitar.
Patent Office refused to register my design because it was too useless.
Well, the low F-sharp string was 2 inches thick, idiot. Trope was flushed himself when he met Maybelline by the bathroom, having just steeled his will to bump off rock and roll. As a matter of fact, Maybelline mistook his vigor for something more, and when they should have been 6 feet apart, they were 6.5 inches inside of each other in the upstairs bathroom. He ran right from the lovemaking to finish the job he didn't know was started, striking rock and roll with a wrench made to tune the incredibly wide diameter of a low F-sharp string on a 94-string bass guitar.
That's right. There's 12 notes in the scale and they should be used in every part of the song, and I'd do it again.
Oh, there's more members of this murderous band. Now facing major trauma to his skull and torso, Rock and Roll stumbled down the hall to a vacant bathroom to inspect his wounds, unaware of the smell of his ex-wife's lovemaking due to major damage to his parietal lobe. Taking advantage of the vulnerable moment, wouldn't this be the perfect time for an interested party to attempt to commit a murder and frame an ex-lover for the deed with genital pummeling? It was.
And it would have been added to May's pile of misdeeds, but for the fact that it was not a lead pipe, it was a mindfulness cylinder.
What the heck is a mindfulness cylinder?
It's a pipe-shaped meditation aid made of common lead and meant to keep one's mind grounded in this time and place, which BRVTY's company successfully crowdfunded last year.
And it kept him grounded. 6 feet under grounded. You can groan at the joke, but I'm still too rich to go to jail.
Now, Persefaneigh, an interesting fact came up in conversation. You were alone in the bathroom for quite some time administering your treatment for your bird bone disease. Curious trait that, if left untreated for even 24 hours, it could allow an adult woman to fold herself within the vents of the bathroom and emerge to commit murder with a Loctite alibi. But we found the weapon ditched in the trash bin. Recognize this dagger that I'm holding off screen?
Oh, am I supposed to remember every ornate blade that I own?
Engraved in this blade, the initials POC. A racist dog whistle to frame another guest? No, it is in fact the true initials of the owner of the blade. A child of two cursed bloodlines, combining their recessive traits and receiving a boon of their wealth and the burden of their rare bone disease. You are in fact Persefaneigh Olsen Culkin, daughter of Macaulay Culkin and one of the Olsen twins. But which?
They're identical, so it doesn't matter, you stupid fossil.
Yes, it was your blade in your hand that struck Rock and Roll. And finally, he stumbled to the room of one J. Casablancas. Julian, we went over this, but in a very real way, you may have been the true murderer, albeit in a crime of mistaken identity.
I'm sorry, but I was really sleepy.
Every last one of you is culpable in the murder of Rock and Roll. You should be ashamed.
I guess we could have figured that out from the beginning, since there were 6 different murder weapons.
Hang on now. Aren't you forgetting one?
Rock and
Let's
roll!
go!
That's right, little mamas and daddies, and the little boy detective, too. The final weapon which you all overlooked, this rope.
I thought you were using that to jack off.
Oh, I was, baby. I was. And then in the middle of it, I got hit in the head. Kidneys, stabbed, junk crushed, shot. You see, boys, in French, they call it orgasm le petit mort. But thanks to all those attempted murders, I think I just had me the grandest mort of all. I've been experiencing extended sexual orgasm, face down on the floor for about 2.5 hours now.
God damn.
Oh, that's right. It's all dried and you can break my dungarees in half like a water cracker, boy.
We are really going off the rails here.
And let that be a lesson to you. Rock and roll will never die.
Boo.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Boo.
Was this all leading up to this?
Darling, can you ever forgive us?
Oh, you know I can. I'm not very bright. And thank you, everyone, for the primo nutterino.
So that wraps up the mystery.
That's right. I can feel the detective urges leaving me. Bimbo mode returning. And back to normal. What's a stock market?
Don't worry your pretty little head about it.
Okay, thanks, Daddy.
But hey, hell yeah, babies. Just one more thing.
Yes, Mr. Moneypenny?
The kitchen's filthy. Get back to work.
Good night, everyone. And remember,
don't
call
the cops.
stay together.